When it comes to tables in Databricks, there are two types. One is manage table, and the second is an external table. So you can create a table by using a data frame style. You can create a table by using a SQL style. There are two ways you can create a table. First way, we will do it by using a data frame style. Okay, I have a data frame. How do I create a table? So just you need to write df dot write dot save as table, and give a table name. Very simple, give a table name. So this will create a manage table. By default it will be a manage table, and it will be specially a delta table. So there will be a delta logs created. If you are not specifying any format, it will be a delta table. Suppose, okay, now if you are not giving any option or any path, this data frame will create a table and it will be saved in your data explorer, and the format of that table will be delta table, and it is called as a managed table. So what does it mean exactly? So whenever you are writing to a table, you get a data. So whenever you say table, you get a data. That is your table. You get a table, plus with that table you get a metadata also. So this metadata in delta is completely different. Like you get a data as well as some logs in that. We will go deep dive into that delta in detail. So whenever you create a table in Databricks, you get these two things. When I say manage table, that will be delta table. In manage table, your both data and metadata will be taken care by Databricks. So your data will be in the data explorer, your data will be in your data explorer, and your metadata will be inside your hive warehouse. So this hive warehouse is taken care by Databricks itself. This is about the managed table. But when I say external table, again, what is the script for that? So you can create an external table again by using a SQL style and by using a data frame style. Let us see now by using a data frame style. It is same as that of manage table. Save as table, give a table name, but only difference is, before you see save, you give an option, you specify a path. There are number of ways you can do it. I'm just showing you one way, path, and you specify the path. So your path can be mnt, then your storage account name, and your container name. So what happens now? Hey, you will get a data. Now again, you will get a data, and that you will get a table, and that table will be your delta table. Obviously we have not given any format, so by default it is a delta table. So what I mean by that, any format means you can explicitly give a format called park here. We will see that in detail later on. But now if you are not giving any format, it is by default delta table. And again you get both data and metadata. Let me write it here. But your data will be there in your data explorer, but your metadata will be stored in your path, whatever path you have given, that is inside your mnt. So in our case we will be using ADLS. So your metadata will be stored inside your ADLS. In case of managed table, your metadata is stored in the hive warehouse. And who is taking care of all this? Your Databricks is taking care of all this. So that is the difference between managed table and the external table. Now what, okay, I understood that you are saying that your metadata is getting stored in your ADLS, then we call it as an external table. We get an external table once we give a path. When we give a path, it will save metadata at this specific location. Yes, that is true. But what is the major difference? The major difference is when you drop this table. When you drop this table, both your metadata and your data, or your table, data is nothing but a table, your table and the metadata both gets dropped in the case of managed table. In the case of external table, when you drop, only the table gets deleted or a data gets deleted, whereas or dropped, whereas your metadata still remains in your ADLS, still remains in your ADLS. So with this metadata, can you create a table again? Yes, you can restore that table back again. So that is an advantage of an external table. Now let us go to the Databricks and create these two tables. So we already have one circuits data frame final. I'll be creating two tables for this. One is managed and one is external. I'll just show you the how the difference looks like. So let me take the data frame which we have already okay, let me show you. We read that data from our blob container, and then we ingested only two derived new columns, two new columns. We dropped one URL column and we call this as a final data frame. Now I want to write this. So data frame dot write dot save as table, and we are not giving any format. Cool, we are not giving any format. By default it will be delta format. We are not giving any option called path, so it will be a managed table. So just you need to give a table name. But before I proceed, I would like to store all my tables in one database. So let me create a new database here. So I'll just create a database by using a SQL create. You can write schema, you can write database, both means the same. Create schema, give a schema name. Let me write formula1 as my database name or a schema name. Let me execute this, and now I'll take up this schema name and I'll use a two level namespace here. I will use formula1 dot dot circuit. So circuit is my final table name, circuits, but this will be my managed. I'll write it as managed. Why? I'll tell you, because I have not specified any path. So let me execute this. Let me execute this. And now you are good to go, and your table will be created inside a Formula 1 database or a schema. So let me click on the data view here, right? I'll just open that in a new tab. Within few seconds, your table will be registered inside your data explorer. Yeah, it got executed, completed. Let me go to the data explorer now. So this is your catalog, Hive Metastore catalog. Just a minute, it's taking a long time. Yeah. Yeah, so you can see a Formula 1 schema is ready for us, and inside that I'm talking about the circuit managed. So once I click on this table, I want to show you the detailed information about that. You can see the column, you can see the sample data, and by this symbol you will find out that it is a delta format. Okay, it is a delta format. Cool. I can see the details. I can see it is a managed table. And who is going to manage all this? Yeah, your DBFS. In that DBFS, there is a user Hive warehouse. So as I told you, here you can see Hive warehouse. You are going to handle all your metadata there. So if you go to history, and you are getting a version of this table because this is a delta format. If it is not a delta format, you will not able to see that. So maybe I'll show you how to use or how to create some other format. I'll do that. But before that, I want to show you how the data looks like. So let me go to %fsls and execute this, and I'll just get inside the Hive warehouse. I want to show you that. So it's in the user now. You can see it's in the user. Let me copy the path from here, paste it here. Inside a user, there will be a Hive directory. You can see Hive. Inside a Hive, there will be a warehouse. I know that. Let me just type it. Hive warehouse, and let me execute this. So this is all taken care by Databricks. In this, I have created a new schema called as a Formula One. So let me get inside that Formula One. In Formula One, I'll get all the metadata regarding all the managed table, and my table name is circuits managed. Let me copy this and paste it here and execute this. So you will get one Parquet file, and there are some delta logs. So this Parquet file represents the data, and this delta logs represents the CRCs and JSON files. We will talk about this in detail. So this is how your managed table looks like. Now what I'll do, I'll just take up this script, I'll copy this, I'll paste it here, and I'll just change the name from managed to external, and I'll just use one option here, option, and I'll just say I want a path here. I'll just specify a path, and I'll give a path here. So that path, I'll just go back to the ADLS. So I'll just get inside my ADLS. I want my data into my ADLS. Inside an ADLS, where exactly I want. So let me just think. In the ADLS, I'll go back. I'll choose a correct path. Inside an ADLS, I have a raw container. I need to put a raw container here because I have mounted that raw container only, not this. Yeah, ADLS. Inside that, I have a raw container. Let me get inside a raw container. Raw container, and inside this raw container I have folders. You can see you have many folders, many directory. I will create a new directory from the Databricks itself. So I'll just create a new directory called formula one, formula one. In that, I'll create a new directory called circuit. I think this looks perfectly fine. I've given a good path. Now let me execute this. Let me execute this. So I have ran this. Let me check what happens now. Yeah, it got executed. Yeah, it got executed successfully. I can see the table from this data view also. I can just click on this data view. You can refresh here quickly and see in the Hive meta store, you will see a Formula One, and then you will see a circuits managed and external both. So if you want to, but you cannot see all the details from here. But let me go to the data explorer. Here I cannot see any refresh here. Let me refresh this directly from here, entire page. Let me refresh it, wait for a couple of seconds, and you can see in the Formula One we got two tables now. One is your managed table and your external table. Let me show you. Here you can see uh your, yeah, Formula One, and now we will see two tables there. Let me open this. Yeah, it is a I want to show you the external table. Let me click on the external table, and you can see this external table will be also a delta format. But what I wanted to show you is the type is an external, and I have given this path. So all my metadata, that is your Parquet file and your delta logs, will be stored somewhere here. I cannot see any Formula One here. Yes, let me refresh here quickly. Click on refresh, and you would see Formula One folder created, that is from the Databricks itself. Circuits, let me click on this, and you can see all your metadata, that is your, I mean, data Parquet and all your logs created here. So these are your CRC and the JSON files created as per the delta. So that is how the external table is created and how your managed table is created. Table is created. So let me take only a few minutes now. I'll just show you one more difference. If I drop the table, what happens? So I won't go to this data explorer every time, guys. I'll just write a script here. I'll just write percent SQL and I'll just write show tables. So for that, let me first use Formula One database. I'll write use Formula One and then I'll write show tables. So let me see what are the tables inside my database. Let me complete this syntax here. Yeah, so it will use Formula One and then it will show you two tables here. So I won't able to go to Data Explorer every time. Now what I want to drop that table. So I'll use SQL command again. I'll say drop my table and table name is circuits managed. So I'm going to drop the managed table. So if I drop it, let me copy paste it here and then execute this. So when I drop my table, now I should not see the manage table here. So let me copy the script again and paste it here. I'll just remove this use because we are already using a Formula One database. We are inside that. Let me execute this. And now you will see only one table, guys. If I'm not wrong. Yeah, you can see only one table. That is your circuit external table. Manage table is gone. So now, okay, your table is gone. Let me drop the external table also and then I'll show you the metadata. So let me paste it here. So instead of circuits managed, I'll just take up this table name circuit. So this is all I have creating a documentation for you guys. So let me copy this and paste it here. Yeah. Okay, now. And now that table is also dropped. So I have dropped two tables. Now you won't able to see anything inside your Formula One database. Yeah, it is dropped. Now let me write show tables. So we created two tables and we dropped two tables and now you won't able to see anything inside your database as Formula One. Yeah, it says that query return no results, so there is nothing here. But if I just scroll up, and here you can see in the manage circuit we got a parquet file, you got delta logs. I'll keep it here only. I'll just copy this syntax and paste it in a new line just to show you after I drop what happens. So let me go down, let me paste it here and run this and run this. And let us see, will you get any files inside that? Yeah, it's showing error. It says that I do not know, like I am not getting any path as managed circuit. Oh, so if I remove this and if I run only formula one.db, in that formula one.db, you won't able to see the new file. It's just saying, okay, you don't have anything in that. Cool. So your metadata, your data both gets deleted in the case of managed table. You can see when I say drop, both gets dropped off. But when I drop the external table also, now as I told you, table is got deleted. We got a proof, but do we have the metadata there? Let us go back and check. So let me go back to my ADLS account and you can see it is inside your raw. It's inside a raw. We created a new directory that is your Formula One, and inside that Formula One, you can see circuits is there. You got your data back. So you can get this data back again, and you can still create a table from this. You can use a data frame style for that, or you can use a SQL style for that. Both will work. So this is how managed table and external table works. So now, like someone might ask, like, okay, you have dropped that table. How do I um get that table back? Yes. So for that, in Databricks, you can start querying that files. So because of this delta, if you have an external table, you can start querying that files by using a SQL syntax. So let me show you how you can use that. So guys, just listen. SQL, I'm just writing a syntax, create, not create, let me use select star star from, the syntax is delta delta, and then you specify this tilde here like this, and then you copy the path. So let me go back and just copy the path. So I want to query this circuits file which is there outside my Databricks, that's in my ADLS, something like that. So I'll paste it here. I'll just need to use a dot here, dot, that will work. Yeah. So now if I say select star from delta, why delta? Because it is a delta format and this is the path, if you remember. So let me execute this. Why I'm doing all this, guys? Because I have dropped that table. Now how can you get that data back? So I'm just showing you. So this is how you can query it. So we can just use select star and you can see you got an ingestion date, you got a path. That looks beautiful. Now so is this my data, or from this table did I create any table? No, it's not a table, it's just a result set. We are just querying it. So how do I create a table? So as we all know, by using a CTAS statement, CTAS, in any database we use CTAS, create table as select. Similarly, you can do it here also. You can just write create table, table name. So I'll just write circuits. Now I'm not playing with circuits, manage circuits external. I'll just say create table, table name as select star from, and so on. Very simple. So when I executed select star from this, I got a query, I got a result set, and I can see all my results are correct. But I want to register this as a table in my database. I'll just write create table, and my database name is formula 1 dot circuits as select star from, and so on. So now, okay, before I execute this, I'll just go to Data Explorer, and I'll just go to Data Explorer and I'll just have a refresh here. I'll just have a refresh. I just wanted to show you that inside your Formula 1 database, we do not have any tables because we have dropped that. We created two tables by using DataFrame style, but we dropped both the table. So I am just trying to extract or retrieve the table back by using that metadata which is there inside my ADLS. Just a minute. Let me go to Formula 1. You can see Formula 1. There is no data here. But if I go back and if I try to create a table name as select. So here I'm using a CTAS statement, guys. Let me just mark down here. So I'm using %md. I'm using CTAS statement here. CTAS. Cool. Create table name as select. Let me execute this. And once I execute it, and you can see a table will be registered with a name called circuits, and you can see query return no results. You can just refer this data view here. Also you can see Formula 1 database. We can refresh here quickly. Let me quickly refresh here. Let me get inside of Formula 1. Yeah, and you can see your circuits table is here. So this is how we have seen your manage table, external table. We drop both, but with the help of manage table, you can retrieve that data back by querying it and then creating a table by using CTAS. I hope you got a clear understanding, guys. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel. Keep learning.